Hello and welcome to the Vierema. Today we have an introduction of our biggest forwarder, Elephant King with the K121. And this is a webinar about a solution for the high productivity forwarding. My name is Juha Haverinen, I'm product manager for the forwarders, and
my name is Santiago Posada and I'm part of the training team.
Today's Elephant King is going to the Sweden, so basically this is very popular forward for the Swedish customers. But also when we are talking about the forwarding in plantations and in eucalyptus countries, what do you think, Santiago? This is the most popular forwarder over there?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, it's the most preferred for our customers, such as Brazil, for example, Uruguay. Our customers, they always go with these kind of machines.
So about the Elephant King. Elephant King is the biggest forwarder we have on our production nowadays. K121 crane is available with the two different extensions, so single extension with the 8-meter reach and then this double extension like here in this machine with the 10-meter reach. And basically there's a lot of different options that you can choose depending on the forwarder conditions that you are using over there at the field. So basically, like this machine here has a short rear frame, and this is meant for the Nordic countries, and this has a double extension crane. And then when we are talking about the plantations and the forwarder use over there, we have a longer rear frame options available and the one single extension crane, for example.
Yeah, regarding to the crane, we will be further watching some videos from our customers and also discussing after those videos. But as Juha was saying from our crane, this is the new type of crane which offers a completely different type of engineering and offers a different kind of, for example, grapples. And of course that impacts directly in the productivity of our customers.
Exactly. And at this webinar we have a chat active, so if you have any questions, please ask them through the chat. Use the chat function and let's get the party started. Okay, and now I jump into this cabin of the Elephant King. We have a lot of space and very, very good visibility to the working site all the time when you are doing the job. Also, I have to mention that this machine is equipped with active frame, so this is very, very comfortable working environment. And next, I think we're gonna jump into this Swedish customer testimonial and listen and hear what the customer has to say. So, let's go Sweden.
Martin heter jag, kör Ponsse Elephant King på Alsjökulla skogsentreprenad och har gjort det cirka 1 år tillbaka. Totalt har jag kört skotar i cirka 20 år. Active Crane tycker jag är väldigt bra. Det gör att man håller en högre produktion under en längre tid, känns det som. Man gör inga onödiga kranrörelser. K121-kranen är jag väldigt nöjd med. Riktigt stark och bra räckvidd, 10 meter. Ren från slangar och rör och annat tycker vi är en fördel. Vi har även valt att ha en 050-grip som vi tycker att den behärskar väldigt bra. Komforten i maskinen tycker jag är bra. Vi har active frame som gör att den tar upp hinder och sidlut bra. Och den går lite mjukare i terrängen. Sikten i hytten är väldigt god. Bra sikt ner i lastbäraren och bra sikt upp på kranen. Kapaciteten i maskinen tycker vi har ökat när vi valde Ponsse Elephant King. Och det är nog mycket tack vare kranen att den orkar bära en större grip. Servicen är jättebra. Närhet och tillgänglighet till service är 2 faktorer som spelar stor roll idag.
Thank you, Sweden. Those were the good comments about, like overall comments about the machine. And next I think we're gonna walk around this machine and highlight some things. So, Santiago.
Well, I guess that one of the things that is it's really important to mention, as you can see in this machine, we have a different kind of engine, and that is because we are trying to reach all the possible places. So we have different kind of engines, and in this case, in this machine, we are presenting stage 5 engine in order to cover Europe regulations. Also, we have 3 engines that they are covering South American and Russian markets, and
also China and Australia,
yes,
South Africa.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so we have a big bogies and big tires to carry the Elephant King 20-ton load. So basically, Santi, do you have any comments about the structure of the machine?
Yeah, in this machine we are presenting the biggest frames, biggest bogies and biggest wheels. That also, as he was saying, it gives us the possibility to have the all payload on the machine, and also gives us more ground clearance and tractive force, which is really necessary, especially when working in slopes.
Okay, at this machine we have a hydraulic VLA load space, which is very popular here in Nordic countries. So this gives a possibility to use hydraulic and put the load space narrow if you are driving at the thinnings, and then spread it out if you are driving at the clear fells. And at Uruguay they are using those 6.7 meter solid load spaces.
Yes, in our euca plantations we are using them.
Yeah, so they are driving also those 7.2 meter length eucalyptus over there, and that is the reason we have the option for the 4.6 meter rear frame. And that 4.6 meter means from the center middle joint to the center of the bogie. And with this machine we have a 3.3 meter rear frame, and this is meant for the driving the shorter trees. Yeah, I think now it's a good time to go to the Uruguay and listen to customer testimony of what they have to say.
Yeah, let's listen to Pablo and Walter Calcerrada over there.
Hola, mi nombre es Pablo Weissel, soy de Ponsse, Uruguay, estoy a cargo de la parte comercial de la empresa de Ponsse, Uruguay, y estamos aquí en el departamento de Rocha, estamos aquí junto a Walter Calcerrada de la empresa Lecal SRL, y Walter es el propietario de la empresa, y vamos a estar charlando con él acerca del forwarder del Elephant King que él tiene trabajando aquí en este lugar. Así que Walter, ¿podrías contarnos un poco cómo es el trabajo en estas pendientes tan pronunciadas y cómo es el desempeño del forwarder?
Nosotros en este tiempo, que es corto el plazo que lleva trabajando aquí en estas sierras acá en Rocha, hemos notado que en la grúa tiene mucho más poder, sobre todo acá en pendientes, cuando el equipo está trabajando hacia abajo, con el peso de la grúa y la carga hacia arriba, notamos una diferencia importante. Después otro punto notorio del equipo es cuando va cargado hacia arriba, la distribución de peso al tener el chasis más largo y el buggy trasero colocado hacia atrás, más atrás, notamos que hace un mejor peso adelante en el equipo y tracciona mucho mejor en la salida. Nosotros acá hoy estamos trabajando con una Ergo con Synchro Winch y el forwarder Elephant King en este lugar acá específico. Las pendientes que hemos trabajado acá, según nos ha marcado la Ergo, están hasta 35 grados de pendientes, se ha trabajado. Y bueno, hasta el momento el forwarder viene sacando la madera también sin problemas. El asiento hubo un cambio notorio en el confort del asiento, el posicionamiento, el sistema de cinturón. Hay buena recepción del tema, sí. La empresa también, como les comenté recién, hablando un poco de comparativas entre el Elephant que tiene la empresa y Elephant King hoy, sobre el tema del OptiCrane, hemos notado en el frente de Tacuarembó, en la zona de Tacuarembó, sacando pino, que el operador, el mismo operador que hoy está en el King, antes trabajaba con el Elephant y saca la misma cantidad de viajes. Y como les comenté hace un rato, el operador al terminar el turno me comentaba que terminas menos cansado, y lo que hemos notado con respecto a la eficiencia, que al cargar más madera, más metro cúbico por viaje, al terminar el turno termina siendo más eficiente. Y también lo otro que vemos, que en consumo de combustible, horas, tienen el mismo consumo moviendo más madera en el turno. Acá en nuestra empresa Lecal contamos con equipos Ponsse desde el año 2011, venimos trabajando con Ponsse. El primer equipo fue forwarder y hoy la empresa cuenta ya con 8 forwarder, de los cuales hoy son 2 Elephant King, y hoy en el parque de maquinaria de cosecha de Harvester contamos con 5 Ergo y una Bear. Y bueno, venimos con una muy buena experiencia con Ponsse.
Okay, thank you, Walter and Pablo. Thank you, Uruguay. So, Santiago, what kind of comments did you pick up from that video?
Yeah, I think thank you also, Walter and Pablo, from my side. And I guess that, as Walter was mentioning, really great points. One of them, for sure, the more power on the crane. What do you think about that?
Yeah, the slewing power is bigger than the previous models, and also the lifting power is bigger. So.
Yeah, especially working in slopes, as Pablo is doing. Yes. Pablo and Walter, they are doing right now. So, as Walter was mentioning, the frame, I guess that is a really good point to mention, yeah. The rear frame.
The longer rear frame really gives some opportunities for the transportation of the longer logs, bigger tractive force and things like that. So. Yeah. That were the points that Walter was pointing out.
Yeah, I guess that is one of the biggest points that we mark now, and also the other things, as for example he was mentioning, the more comfort for the cabin. I guess that those were covered a little bit before to our Swedish video.
So this was all for today. Thank you for participating in this Ponsse Studio. If you have any questions about relating our products or some other Ponsse related questions, please ask from your local sales guy or dealer, and they will help you with that.
Yes, I guess that it's time to wrap it up, and thank you all of you guys again, and let's see you in the next Ponsse Studio.
Okay, thanks, bye bye.